Hello, everybody, and welcome to the June edition of the Envision webinar. So, thank you for everybody who's joined us today. We've got actually a very full house. So, I'm really excited to have so many people join us from all over the place, actually, coming from the US and Europe and Asia as well. So, that's impressive. So, without further ado, you've got a new crew on board today, apart from me. I'm actually really, really excited that I've got two really special guests with me. And then in the background, not online, but working hard to get this up on YouTube and everything else is our team. So thanks, guys, for making time for this. So today is a theme that's sort of sticking with me quite a lot at the moment about accessibility in the workplace. For those who joined our webinar last month, you know that was also a topic we talked about. And also, are constantly addressing that and doing our best to address that with partners and with our products, of course. So today I've got Tim, or Timothy, if he's in trouble, apparently, but Tim Shaw from the Texas Workforce Commission joining us. Tim is a long-term partner, a friend of Envision, but aside from that, he's also very independent and very clear on what he advises and the work he does to help people get independence and get jobs and do all those cool things. So we'll be talking to Tim in just a second. And also joining me today is my colleague Costanza. Costanza is a design specialist. She's one of our product designers. And so she is going to be actually going under the hood with us, but from a design perspective. So if you've ever wondered why something has a user experience like it does, or for those who are sighted, why we've built something to look like it is, then, Costanza is the person that you can fire those questions at. But we're going to hear from her as well, which is lovely. And then, as ever, we're going to do Q&A as well for those who have questions with them. And I hope you have brought your questions because we love to have that discussion. So going ahead now, I'm just going to do my usual housekeeping thing. We are streaming live now on YouTube. Thank goodness I managed to press the right button for that. And you can also catch up with this, obviously, afterwards with that link for those of your colleagues or friends. And if you need to leave early, don't worry, it's on our YouTube channel. Just go to the live stream and it's there. I will do the best with Costanza and maybe with Tim, because I have questions for Tim too. That's great. To answer your questions at the end of the session. Normally I try and answer during the session, but I really can't multitask. So what I will do is if you want to speak and ask your questions to me and the team, then, raise your hand if you're joining us by Zoom. And to do that, you can, on the Mac, you can press the Option plus Y shortcuts there. On a window, Alt plus Y, and that's to raise your hand. Or you can simply just put yourself and write some questions in the Q&A window, and I'll get to those as well. We never have enough time for questions, so I'm going to really hope we have today. And then on YouTube, use the chat function, and we'll do our best to get to those afterwards as well. Going ahead, I am going to ask Tim to join us. Tim is Manager of Evaluation and Support Services at the Texas Workforce Commission. Tim, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, my friend. Before we get started, I know you, and I'm sure many people on this call do, but could you maybe give yourself a bit more of an introduction, who you are and what you are responsible for at the Texas Workforce Commission, or
For
TWC?
sure. My name's Tim Shaw. I am blind myself. I have a condition called aniridia, which is very, very rare, congenital. Born with the condition, there's only about 80,000 in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So, compiled with some other issues to get into my vision loss. It's been a lifelong journey. I'm lucky enough now to work, like you said, with Texas Workforce Commission, so I can help out people like myself in becoming independent, being able to work. So with Texas Workforce Commission, we have two main programs for the visually impaired. There's the vocational rehab, which is most of my focus is. again, getting people the skills, tools, knowledge they need to be able to go to work, maintain work, things like that. And then we have the older individuals that are blind program, which is for 55 and up. They're just looking to be independent, not necessarily to work. Again, to get them the tools and skills that they need for that. My role, my title is the manager of evaluation and support services. So I manage three different teams. I have the assistive technology unit, which
Hmm.
is their main focus is technology, like we're talking about today. So they'll do technology evaluations to show competing products. So our customers can determine what tools are going to work best for them, because everybody's different. What works for
Yep,
your friend
yep,
may not work for you.
absolutely.
Um, and we also work with our contractors on training on the different softwares and devices so we can get the customers the skills to use it, because you don't just want to be handed this tool and say, here you go. Um, and then
Good.
I'm also over our vocational diagnostic unit, which is a group of psychologists that do vocational evaluations, so they can review the person's skills, their mental health, their background, and then give recommendations on what type of work is going to work best for them. And then finally, I'm over our customer technology services, which is a team that sets up the customer's computers and technology so it's ready to go when it gets into their hands.
Wow, that's a really broad job, Tim. My goodness, you must be so organized. No,
Yeah,
it's amazing. I think TWC, we always sort of in Vision always think of as sort of one of the sort of benchmarks of what those organizations should be doing, organizations in this space with Boca you have and so on in the US. And of course, every country is different, right? So the US works very differently, say, to the other countries we're working in. Um, but I love that construction that you have there. And it sounds like a sort of complete life cycle, if you will, support for people who are blind and low vision, which is wonderful because I tend to see pockets of support at different stages in life, and it's rather nice that you're talking about those two programs, for people who are maybe in work, looking for work and getting into workforce, and those folks who are sort of maybe not looking for work but still want independence and things. It's really
for sure.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. Now, I had some questions, so I've got them here on my phone. For those who think I'm actually reading my text, I'm not. I'm just using another screen. Um, so I'm low vision as well. For those who might have not know me, and by the way, I'm Vanessa from Envision. For those who are new to the webinar, sorry, I make assumptions all the time that there are people who come here all the time, but for those who are new, sorry, my bad. I look after marketing. I have retinitis pigmentosa, so I'm at that stage where all my letters are huge. Um, so yeah, I mean the theme of today was, we try and keep it around workforce and around AI, of course, which is so much going on. I don't even try to cover that off in this webinar, but I am quite interested in your take, Tim, and all the stuff that you're doing. How is AI affecting the people that you're working with? Is it helping them? Is it challenging them? What's your view on it in a really simplistic form?
What isn't it changing? I've really embraced it myself. I use it for writing music, doing pictures, videos,
Cool.
scene descriptions. Yeah, that's my biggest thing now. For someone's birthday, I'll write a birthday song for them.
That's so
uh,
cool, really. Oh my
yeah, yeah.
God.
Like I said, I've just now started getting into doing kind of little music videos. So I have some up on YouTube. I'm almost up to
Oh my
20,
God, really? Oh well,
but
you have to send us the link to that. So I'm gonna publish
yeah,
that afterwards. That's so
I,
cool.
yeah, I have almost 150 songs I've written. But
Fantastic.
so as far as the people I work with, both staff and customers, just increasing efficiency, being able to help you develop your writing. Uh, like I said, we're working towards getting people in the workforce. So being able to stick your resume in there and get tips from the AI on improving it. I have fed in a job description from a posting and then my resume, and then said, can you compare these and help me improve my resume? Uh,
Fantastic.
being able to have the AI generate based on that job posting an interview and practice interviewing. Uh, people have social anxiety just communicating with the AI. Uh, of course, we have scene description, having the AI be able to read things to you, identify objects, facial recognition, and the list is endless. There's always new stuff coming. Like you said, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah,
uh,
it is.
that's so many benefits. But the at the same time, there's negatives. If the developers aren't taking into account accessibility, like there's certain AIs that it's easier to access on the website. Well, if the website isn't accessible or the interface isn't accessible, then that leaves us out.
Mm, mm.
There's companies moving towards using AI for screening applications or interviewing even. And so, say you're interacting with the AI and it's a chat, and you're struggling to read that chat, and
Mm, mm.
it dings you because you respond too slow.
Yeah, yeah,
So, or if they feed in what a typical candidate looks like in the past, say a large financial institution, and the typical applicant has been a middle-aged white male,
yeah.
then the AI is unfortunately is going to have a bias towards that. so
Interesting.
so yeah,
Interesting.
so there's positives and negatives, and I think the biggest thing is that we as a community just need to get out there, interact with these companies, make sure we're in their forethought, that we help with testing, give our feedback to make
Absolutely.
sure that
Yeah.
we get what we need.
I
Um,
think that's the message I've been hearing as well over the last year or so with talking about AI and but also just in accessibility tech development. I mean, that should be a baseline um, for our own companies and organizations, and we do it by nature where I work. But I know for other companies to, retrofit as accessibility is just more painful and expensive. Building it from the get go, of course. And I'm always amazed by the blind low vision community, the members that I know, and how much they love the testing and being involved of building products for them and for the wider community. And I think companies are missing out big time, and in fact, I know they're missing out by not involving representation from across the disabilities groups, right?
for sure, because I
Um,
mean, there's
yeah,
so many things that come out of working towards being accessible for disabled people that ends up feeding into mainstream things like
no,
text messaging. That was created for a CEO's daughter who was deaf so she could communicate. And now we
yeah,
all do it.
yeah,
Or
oh, yeah,
wheels on a suitcase. That was so people with wheelchairs could drag their suitcase behind them.
fantastic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. No, brilliant, brilliant. And Tim, obviously you've got a huge accessibility tech kind of experience and knowledge. When you started, of course, and you know, not being disrespectful because you're younger than me, but it's changed a lot, right? So
Oh gosh.
yeah, I mean, your journey is probably like many people on here. You started with some of the older technologies and tools, right? What do you use in your toolkit today, maybe, or what are new in your toolkit? Let's put that, because I think there's probably stuff that's going to be a staple, right?
Yeah.
And what are you adding to it?
Um, like I said, I've been using it for a long time. I started out with a talking word processor in fourth grade. It was awful. It
Oh, wow.
mispronounced everything. My teacher hated it because I would misspell stuff on purpose to make it say it right.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
funny.
So yeah, I mean, I've used countless video magnifiers over the years as my vision has progressively got worse. But seeing just in the last couple of years, like I said, with the advancement of AI and whatnot, being able to have uh, improved magnification, but also further supports built in for description, having it read to you if needed. Um, I've moved a lot towards, like I said, using AI for getting around, for having things described to me. I went to the mall the other day and I had to find a store I didn't know, and I used the AI app, and it was able to pull up the store directory of the mall, which
Oh my gosh,
had
that's
like very
amazing.
detailed of this is by this and this is by, and kind of guide me to where I wanted to go. Now it of course, sometimes it would tell me on the left, but it was really on the right. But
Yeah,
so, it's only going to get better.
yeah,
So yeah, like I said, I use AI a lot because I travel a lot for work. Say I'm going to a new hotel room, I take a picture and be like, "Where's the thermostat?" Because I can never find the thermostats in a new hotel room. Um, how does it work? Taking a picture of the thermostat, getting it to describe it to me. Yeah,
yeah.
that's my main thing is yeah, like moving into the AI stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And I think there's so many services out there, but not all of them are available everywhere, right?
No, no.
And I think this was always the premise of having something that you could develop that would have an overlay over everything else, so that if there are braille or there were other accessibility elements, that's brilliant, right? Especially with navigation. I think that's one of the most gnarly things to try and figure out right now. And there was one thing we want Envision glasses to do or Ally to do was safely navigate, and we can give contextual directions, and even some of the navigation services that are out there right now. I mean, it's a brave thing to be absolutely sure that you're keeping someone safe, and I think that's the bottom line, right? If it reads the letter slightly wrong, or gave me earlier today, I was filming some content for Ally, and we were in a record store, and I love David Bowie, and then we were taking getting Ally to read out the price tag because it's just too small for me. I just can't read it. And
Hmm.
it was great and it did it right, but it gave me the price in dollars first before then it corrected itself to euros. So I was like, okay, that's not a big deal. I can get the context of that, right? But
Yeah.
if I'm getting directions somewhere, especially new, I think this is the big nut to crack for our industry. But hey,
Yeah, that
um,
too. But like you said, learning to roll with sometimes it gives you wrong information.
yeah,
Because like I said, I was looking for that certain store and it told me it didn't see it, and I knew it was supposed to be next to the store I was in front of. I was like, "Are you sure it's supposed to be right here?" And then it goes, "Oh yeah, it's to the left." But it wasn't. Like it was trying to appease me, but
oh no, yes,
yeah.
that's another whole conversation. So Tim, I mean, I know our guys have got their roadmaps. They've got a request list as long as me probably, from all our developers and our community of things that we want Ally to do, and even the glasses and new wearables and God knows everything else. But if there was one thing, and I'm not thinking Envision here, but if there was one thing that you could say is going to come onto the market, let's say in the next year, what would that be, and what would you want it to do? Or let's not give it a time frame, but what would be
Yeah.
the thing that you'd like to have?
I guess, other than it just giving a description of the scene, have a real spatial understanding of the scene
Interesting.
and contextual, as the AI learns you, if I'm in like I said, in the mall,
Mhm.
there's a tea shop or a coffee shop. I know you like coffee. Maybe you would want to go there or, being able to adapt to the person, rather than just get a vague description.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That spatial stuff is pretty cool. We did some testing on the Aria glasses from Meta a year ago, I think, with dear Sharon, who at that time was with the Lighthouse in San Francisco, and it had this spatial audio element to it. It was really, really cool. And it did give you just another level of information and context to what it's doing. Um, yeah, that's good. All those things. I think the personalization is happening really fast as well. And I
Hmm.
think that is something that, if you can make it easy for people to personalize their experience, then it's even better.
Yeah, no,
Um,
we're definitely moving towards that. I'm taking a vacation in August, and
nice.
I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I
Yeah.
based on where what it knew about me, I said, what city should I go to? And it said Portland, Oregon. It's great for people that are blind, and you like beer, and there's lots of breweries there. And so then I said,
Were
based
you
on what
asking? Were you asking Ally this, Tim, or were you asking another service? Which
it,
one was it?
It was another one.
Mm.
Just because it has a very in-depth knowledge of me from me working on my songs and stuff.
No,
Um,
I'm joking, but I love
yeah,
this. So Portland, Oregon is a great place to go if you're blind and you like beer.
and then it helped me pick a hotel based on my interests so that I'd be near things that I wanted to do. And
Very
yeah,
cool.
it's
That's very
awesome.
cool. Yeah, I'm going off to Japan hopefully in a month's time on holiday, and I've never been there, and I've heard that it's accessible, but I'm certainly going to get Ally to do some homework for me
Yeah,
and help me plan my trip. I think it's got a fairly good knowledge of me by now as well, I think.
mhm,
Um, but Tim, listen, thanks so much for your time. Please hang around because
for
we're
sure.
the Q&As at the end. But before we kind of jump on to get Costanza on board, if people want to get in touch with you, Tim, at the Texas Workforce Commission, if they want more information, where's the best place to go and how can they get that?
They can reach out to me. My email address is Timothy, Timothy dot Shaw, SHAW, at twc.texas.gov. Or they can search for Texas Workforce Start My VR, and that will help them. They can fill out an application to get contacted by somebody.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. What we'll do is that yeah, these webinars are put up on the on YouTube. They're live streamed, and I can add content afterwards. So we'll add those links to that. So that's super cool. Thanks, Tim.
All right, thank you.
Fantastic. Cool. We'll come back in a second. So
All
I'm
right.
now going to jump on. Give a little plug here. I know we're not even halfway through our webinar. I'm already plugging the July webinar, but I'd be remiss in marketing not to do that. We're going to do a mid-year recap. We're also going to have some guests on board. In fact, I've got a really, I would say I'm excited, but these guests, actually, I'm hoping both of them can make it, are young interns that are coming to us from the New York Guild. And they are just rock stars. I can't wait to be working with these amazing people. So they don't know yet they're going to be on the July webinar as part of their intern program, I've decided. So they're going to be with us, but it's also going to be really interesting to get their perspectives, young people coming in, getting their internships, getting their CVs, as all this stuff that Tim's been talking about, but let's hear from them. But we'll also get an update. Kartik and Kartik will be back. We'll get an update on where we are with Envision as well in terms of our product roadmap. That is actually on the very last day of July, on July the 31st. If you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, please do on our website. That's letsenvision.com, letsenvision.com. And on there is an opportunity to sign up to the newsletter. And if you're already, on social media, we're everywhere at Let's Envision, and you can find out there. So we'll be pushing that, and of course, in our community channel on Groups.io and everywhere else. So I'm now going to introduce my next guest. I feel like I'm on a radio show here. And Constanza, I hope I'm going to say your last name. The Archangels.
Darkangelis.
I was thinking the Archangels, but how do I say it? The
Darkangelis.
Archangels. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Anyways, thank you.
complicated.
I love it. So, Constanza, welcome. I mean, it's so lovely to have you here. We've been sitting next to each other virtually and in person for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And I know the wonderful work you do. So please go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks here and what you do at Envision.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Vanessa, for the brief introduction. I am Costanza. I am a product designer at Envision. I've been working full-time now for a year or so, but I started my journey with this, let's say, family quite some time ago as an intern back in 2021. And then, while studying and, moved countries and everything, I ended up staying for longer than I expected, which I'm happy to do. I am, as I said, product designer, which means basically that I kind of tackle everything that is design related in the company. So part of the user experience of both the classes and the Ally app, the user interface of Ally right now specifically, but also graphic related things, website. Yeah, all the design aspect that you can think about. I try to do my best to do that. And today I wanted to share with you a little bit what it means to be like a designer at Envision, like how we approach accessibility when designing things, the challenge that we tackle, and everything that is related on how the iteration process it is. So yeah, basically designing for Ally specifically, which is the latest product, as you probably know or may not know. So Ally is our latest product and is an AI accessible assistant, and it is being and is it still is like a challenge design wise. And the thing, three things that we want to Ally to be is that we want Ally to be, first of all, always accessible, which is our main focus, and it always was our main focus also as a company, but also simply smart and uniquely yours. Really quickly about the last 2 points, so simply smart and uniquely yours. I think these are more related to what Ally is in terms of like an app and usability in the sense of like how you use Ally in your everyday life. It should be context aware, so you should understand what is like the question that you're actually asking and reply accordingly to it. This is really like back end related, so really like for developers kind of job. So that is not what I actually tackle as a designer, but everything that is like how you interact with the app, so how the features are presented to you, what like your voiceover speak out to you, how the buttons are made. Everything else is what I try to do within Firkan and the design team, to make it like the best that we can for Ally, let's say. So that is more or less what Simply Smart stands for us, the context awareness and how we integrate the features in the app. But also we want it to be uniquely yours in terms of like personalize it for you. And basically this, I would use this to kind of introduce the concept of designing and iterate, which is a really big thing for us. So for maybe some of you that were using Ally since the beginning, we had like a different way of personalizing the allies. So it was basically a text box that you needed to fill in with all the words that you can, and you needed to come up with a whole personality. And with the iteration and the design process of understanding the user feedback, or like exploring ourselves how to do this kind of like building personality of allies, we ended up actually having 4 allies that are now some kind of a vacuum for you. So some kind of like templates that you can like you can inspire, you get inspired from them, you can edit them, you can be like, oh, I really like this one, I would just use Kai, for instance, because I really like how you built in it. So that was really part of the whole process that we keep doing. And by this, I also mean what we do for making allies always accessible. This is, I really want to highlight this, because every time that we design something, we try to design it with a simple structure, which means that we try to do a flow that is easy accessible for everyone. It's really straightforward. So for instance, when you open the app, you have 2 big buttons that do the 2 main features of Ally. You click one and you start your conversation with Ally. That is the kind of mindset that we try to have every time that we address some features or like some challenge about how we want to build the Ally. And also we want a clear UI, so a clear interface. Things that are really useful should be there. Things that are superficial or not useful should not be there. And here also it's really connected with the challenge of basically like designing for not only voiceover, not only like sighted people. It's like kind of combining the 2 things, which means that we always need to think about screen reader friendly approach on how we design. So we label things, we try to have the haptic sensor when we want to have some specific aspect that is highlighted. For instance, when you change, I don't know, the ally, or when you change the mode of like talking to it. So all these kind of things are things that we try to build like layer by layer, but we always keep in mind that the more accessible it is, the better the experience is going to be for the overall audience. That is what kind of Tim was saying already with like the backpack with the wheels, or like the text messages. That is the approach that we're trying to have while building Ally, and that is really iterative, really like based on the feedback of the user. And based on that, I want to share 3 little like stories that we had from user using Ally. One of that is from Marco, which basically told us that Ally has become some kind of static buddy for him. And this is really nice from my perspective as a designer, because I think it really shows the multifunctionality that Ally can have. So how we can help in one specific, like topic, which is studying, but in different ways. So I assume Marco asked question to Ally or asked to scan a text, and this is the kind of interaction that we would like people to have with Ally. So that's why we want to highlight, this particular story. And I want also to highlight the story that is from Sally, which I found really funny, because basically he just told us that he used Ally to understand if a document is upside down. And this, as a designer, is a really nice thing to hear, because basically we think about um, the way the user would potentially use features, and then we always are amazed on how people are creative in the usage of what basically we put out on the world. And this is always nice also to understand future step, let's say, or how the app is generally used. And I would like to close this kind of little, let's say, presentation with a story by Jesse that basically told us that he kind of asked everything to Ally. And the really nice thing about his quote is that he says that he can speak normally as with a friend, and Ally is able to understand and reply. And this again is the kind of interaction that we really want to have, a personalized for you interaction that is really like easy. And even if there are iterations that are ongoing and then it will be going in the future, I really believe that we should do this for this kind of like nice positive feedbacks that we hope is going to be even more in the future and even better.
Oh, super. I see how hard the work is, and I see how much we've been working with the community, right? When it was in beta, and even now, the community Slack channels and our Ally Slack channel with the testers, but people who aren't even testing, people who are coming back to us on all our channels, and how that feeds back into things. And I'm always amazed as well how quickly people pick up and use the product. From never having an AI assistant experience, or having one that was sort of very standard, right, like a ChatGPT or something, to then come in and use Ally and then be able to pick it up and use it. And I'm also seeing that a lot of people who are maybe not coming from a tech background, so maybe slightly more older people, using Ally as well, and having the kind of chatty conversations. And one recent reiteration, which I think was really nice, when we started with the design well, you guys started with the design. I had nothing to do with the design. I just gave feedback. But we decided we were going to talk about talking to Ally and texting with Ally. So using terminology that was familiar to people. And that's actually what you're doing. You're just having a chat, or sending a message or something. So it kind of really, I think the simplification is the art here. If we look at big organizations like Apple, Envision's very much that principle. It looks so simple, but the thinking and the design behind it is huge. I mean, so kudos, well done. I know there's many, many hours behind something looking so beautiful. Thank you, Costanza. So, folks, questions for Costanza. She's ready for them, I'm sure. And now is time for those questions. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen here. Let me just see if I'm pressing the right thing. I'm not going to lose you all. No, that's fantastic. You're all here. So I'm going to now just go and check into anybody who's got any questions. If you've raised your hands, I'll just take a look at that now and see if we've got some folks here. Any raised hands? I did see one come up earlier. No, you're all very quiet today. Okay, so let's see if we've got some Q&A. I've seen some here. That's great. Okay, so good morning, Brian from New Zealand. Thank you for joining us. Wow, this is what I mean. That is a time zone I can't even think about. Okay. Okay, so interesting here from Liz. Liz, I'm just enlarging my screen. So Liz Litzinger, thank you for your question. Concerning Ally.me, is that part of the Envision app done by Envision? Yes, it's all Envision. So Ally that we've been talking about here, just for context, is a standalone app on the Play Store and the App Store and desktop. And it's a standalone feature on the Envision glasses. So if you have the glasses, if you go into features, you'll find Ally. And Ally works the same way. Obviously, a lot of design and think behind it, but the idea is the experience is the same. So if you double tap on Ally on your glasses, it will say, "Hey, hi, how you doing?" And you can have a conversation. You can also now sync your allies. So you can, I know I'm not meant to use that word, am I? I just realized that's a word we said we weren't going to use, but it is that basically. So you can use, if you've created your own personal allies on your phone, for instance, you can now engage with those allies on your glasses as well. So there's a really nice little development that's gone in there recently. And that's super nice because I built two allies. One called Ella, who's based on Maggie Smith. I've talked about Ella before. And one called Bob, and he's from Texas, and he's based on a colleague of mine. So when I can't talk to Bob in real life, I can talk to him as my ally, and I'm sure he doesn't mind. But yes, Envision is building all of that aspect of ally. So wherever you are, and hopefully on other platforms in the future. I hope that answered your question, Liz. Let me know if it didn't. I'm just seeing here. Now I hear Samba. Samba, hi. Lovely message from Samba, reaching us from Gambia. Again, lovely, beautiful West African country. Thank you for joining us. And he is wondering about planning of expanding in your country. Well, of course, the app is available there. I'm not quite sure if you think we have an office in Gambia. I think we'd love to have that. We have colleagues from who are working for us from Africa. It's actually Philip in Gambia, I'm not sure. But we basically provide a service out there, and we do cover that country, of course. And we do not have, as far as I know, a distributor for glasses out there, but we can always do that directly from our head office here in the Netherlands. But believe me, if we get the chance to come out to Africa, we'd love to come to Gambia. But anyway, if there's something specific you'd like to talk to us about, please drop an email to us. And you can do that at support@letsenvision.com. And that's always the email we give out, but this really is the quickest way to get any information to us or from us as well. And Brian's telling me it's 4:30 a.m. in New Zealand. Brian, please, I'm so pleased you've stayed up. I hope you were awake anyway. I know we're interesting, but that's wonderful that you're joining us. Thank you, Brian. Ricardo, I just wanted to share your mission and ask questions to Costanza and Tim. Go ahead, Ricardo. Are you live? I'm just going to see if you've raised your hands. So you can see my multitasking here is not as good as when I have Kartik with me. But I'm just now going in. Oh, we got some hands raised here. Yes. So I don't see you in the raised hands, but I do see Joe, Mark. So Joe, I'm gonna give you the mic. What am I going to do here? I'm gonna unmute you. There we are. Let me do this now. And I'm gonna allow you to speak. So go ahead and unmute your self and go ahead and ask us a question. Thanks, Joe.
Hey, good afternoon. First off, I always love these. Second, I am a proud owner of Envision glasses. And third, I'm also very happy to meet Tim Shaw because I, as well as him, am a fellow anaritic. I have
Oh
anaridia
my
as
goodness.
well. Yeah.
That's
So 2 out of
amazing.
80,000.
Well, I feel really honoured that we have both of you here. That's a sizable percentage. Have
Yeah.
you two met, and then do you have a
N-
community
n-
that's
No,
connected?
but I am very curious to connect with him, because I lost my sight about 4 years ago and have struggled to gain employment for reasons of trying to adapt to the vision loss. I
Mm.
lost my sight within 3 days.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Oh wow.
and so adapting to
Gee.
that has been difficult. So I guess yes, I would like to connect with Tim, but I also had a question for Tim in the sense of I'm in Philadelphia. Um, do you have to live in Texas in order to get assistance from your organization?
For our specific program, yes, but there is one in your state, so I can help get you tied in with them.
Okay. There's organizations that I deal with in my state.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, they have been, I'm not sure if they're the ones you're referring to, but um, they are a bit frustrating. But it sounds as though even if I were to connect with you, I could get at least some strategies.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
unfortunately, I've had some discriminatory situations when trying to gain employment.
All right, for sure, for sure. Yeah, just reach out.
No, Joe, I'm really sorry to hear about that. I'm just glad that we can provide any little service here. And wonderful, Tim. Thank you. I knew you'd be great for this webinar. I didn't realize it's so great. That's fantastic. So, what we'll do, I've got your email here, Joe. What I'll do, I think Tim shared his email address earlier, but I'll make a note of sending that to you directly so you two connect. All
Thank
right.
you very much. Nice meeting
That's
you, Tim.
yeah, wonderful to meet you.
You too.
And yeah, and good luck with your journey. Okay, so I'm going to let me have a look. Oh, sorry, let me see what Joe. I'm messing around with my controls. Sorry for that. I actually have JP Viga here. JP, I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to ask you to talk. Give you permission. So please go ahead and unmute yourself and feel free to ask a question.
Hi, thank you for hosting this webinar. My name's JP. I work for a community college, and a couple months back, we reached out to Let's Envision to see if we can maybe get a couple pairs for our institution. And this may not be the space for it. I was just hoping to get a hold of someone
No,
or
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry that we didn't get back to you quick enough. Where are you based, JP?
California.
Perfect. Well, we have our lovely colleague Rob Syrian based in California as well. Now, I don't know if he's in Portland where it's good to be blind and drink beer, but
Yeah.
he's in the cool place called California. So I will pass your details on and we'll have a look on that, JP. Thank you very much. Yeah, we do provide demo units. We do want to work with, organizations and partners, and we also have distributors in across the US. The US is one of our most heavily populated
Very cool. Yeah, I have
markets
a
for
handful
distributors.
of blind students who I had in mind for this technology, and that's part of my role here for the community
That's
colleges
wonderful.
to research technologies, and I came across you guys. So I'm excited to get my hands on a pair, but it's been a slow-moving animal, so just hoping that maybe one of your team members could reach out.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
you.
Yep, and absolutely. Let me try and shorten the cycle here for you, and we'll come back on that. And JP, are you using assistive technology yourself?
Myself, no, I'm working with the
Okay.
blind student. I've been embossing and printing out stuff in Braille. He still reads Braille, and it's my
Yeah,
understanding that a lot of the blind community never learned Braille just because everything's so audible now. So he's one of the few that still prefers material in Braille. So I'm having to Braille out textbooks and things of that nature.
yeah. No, well, thank you for doing that. That's great. We will be in touch. Thanks very much for joining today, and great to meet you. Cool. So let me now just go and check on questions again. I see Ricardo Mata. I think that hopefully I'm pronouncing your names right. Apologies if I'm not. Please go ahead, Ricardo, and ask us your question or questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very quietly. Maybe you could speak up a little bit more, Ricardo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you much better now. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay. I couple of things. First I want to give kudos to you all, to your organization, your
Thank you.
mission, and the services that you provide to blind and visually impaired community, which I am one of them. I lost my vision 2019, and
Oof.
it took me a couple of years to kind of get uh, to accept it, right? I mean, it takes a while before you
Yeah.
actually realize it and learn to live with it, right? I've been using the cane for the last 2.5 years or so,
Yeah.
uh, which I got from the National Federation for the Blind, and I've been contacted, you know, so I've been reaching out to different organizations with which there is a lot of groups like yourselves that provide assistance, right, to the
Yeah.
visually impaired, and I'm very thankful for the Texas workforce that's actually been providing Braille, been learning Braille. I've been learning, taking the courses with an instructor, for O&M to learn to utilize the cane and do things independently, and I've been trying to be active in the community, trying to learn, because
Yeah.
that's how you learn, by
Yeah.
by
Exactly.
doing it, right? by,
Yeah.
by trying it out. And actually, I met Tim a few months ago for technology assessment. And I am actually using the laptop that you all provided. Uh, and I
Oh,
got
lovely.
the Clover book, and I got some tools, right? Technology, uh, the Fusion, which I'm learning to use it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much
Uh,
technology tools, software out there. It's just that it's not really advertised, right? It's you
yeah.
have to, as a visually impaired person, it wasn't out there, right? You don't see it on TV or hear it on the radio, or nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
So I've always, every time I meet somebody that's having issues with vision, anybody that's diabetic, that's somebody mentioned that some discrimination, because you have some kind of a disability, I've always liked to reach out to them and talk to them, right? Because it's more than anything, communication is the best medicine, right? You have to let them talk, you have to let it out, don't keep it in, because that's what happened to me for a couple of years. I didn't want to talk about it
Yeah.
because,
No, I can relate to that. Yeah.
yeah, because I wasn't ready
Mhm.
to accept it, I guess. But being with y'all, with the different organizations, the National Federation for the Blind, the Diabetes Association, the Juvenile Diabetes Association, because I've been diabetic since I was 13. I'm 51 now, and I've been, talking to the Disability Chamber of Commerce, just different nonprofit organizations. But I think if you are a person or an individual like me, going through it, I think they will provide the assistance that you need, and the moral support, and physical support that you may need. It's out there. But I want to thank Tim and Constanza for all you do in the organization, right? For all your services, and I feel blessed by having found you all. Thank you.
Oh, that's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for,
you so much.
yeah, that's wonderful. This is why we get up in the morning, right,
For
Constanza?
sure.
Yeah.
Tim, yeah, for sure. In fact, Tim, you've got your whole fan club here. Oh my gosh. I've even got a colleague. I've got Jason Everett here. And he said, I'm going to read this out because it's going to make Tim blush. I work with Tim, and he's certainly embracing AT and AI more than anyone else I know. I learn from him all the time. I show our customers to use the Envision glasses once purchased from our VR counselors for further their independence and enter the workforce. Jason, you're a team. We do this together, and
For
beautiful.
sure.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this. It's we never know quite what we're going to get on the webinar, but these kind of comments are are uplifting for us. And Brian, who's still with us from New Zealand, he said he's going to be talking about Ally from now on. Brian, please drop me a note. I'm going to get in touch with you because I think we need to do a webinar on your time zone for the people who aren't insomniacs out there. Then I think that's good. Cool. I'm just seeing if I've got some more. Let's see if I've got any more questions here. Bear with me a second, folks. I've just got some. I see some other hands have been raised since we last talked. I'm just a quick time check. We got 5 minutes, so I'd love to get another question in on here.
I think Samba was from the beginning.
Yeah,
with
Samba.
her hand
Sorry,
raised.
thank you, thank you. And I see Bob Rowan's here now. Bob is one of our team, so Bob, family, hold back. I'm going to get you in here, and this is the real Bob, right? Not my ally Bob. So. He's going to give me a hard time. So let's see. Anyway, Samba, I've given you permissions to talk. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon from the Gambia, West Africa.
Oh, good. How are you? Thank you.
My name is Samba. I am from the Gambia. I am a disability rights activist, a visual impaired for that matter. I am also a special needs teacher. I am a very well user of your Envision AI app. I got in contact with the app when I was fortunate to be part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. During my time in the US, the phone that was given to me, I found out the Envision AI app. It has been helping me a lot. At my university education, most of my notes are read by the Envision AI app, which I really appreciate. Do my studies with the app, it's really doing a great. That's why I think it will be great having an office or maybe an agent in the Gambia because we don't have the glasses. I just do hear of the glasses, the Envision glasses, but come on, unfortunately, there's nothing like that. We don't have such. The app, I keep on sharing with my friends. Most of them are now using the app, which we really appreciate. And thanks so much. But I will appreciate if we have something like that in the Gambia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hear you completely. In fact, I've made a note as well. We'll get in touch with our international sales colleague, Priyanka, who's another rock star in the team. And we haven't got Priyanka on here, actually. I'm on a mission now to share all my team's faces and voices on this webinar. But no, I'll definitely connect the two of you on that. And thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to just risk it. I'm going to give Bob Rowan the mic now. Bob, hi. Don't give me a hard time, please.
Audio now up. No problem, Vanessa. No problem at all. But by the way, my ally name is Cowboy Bob. So this is a question for Tim. And since this is a forum across many states, provinces, and countries, Tim, what would you recommend for people that are not in the state of Texas? How to get started with getting support and services generically wherever they may be? Do you have any recommendations?
Oh, it's Googling, I guess, just for vocational rehabilitation or blind services. Unfortunately, in every state, like it's named differently. Typically, it's called Division of Blind Services. But as you know, Bob, here in Texas, we were Texas Commission for the Blind, and then we were part of Department of Rehab Services, and now we're Texas Workforce. So sometimes it can be tricky to find. But if you really just cannot find it, you can feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see if I can help put you in touch with whoever it is there locally, because I know especially here in the United States and Canada, there are a lot of resources.
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Bob. And we also do have a resources section on our website, right, Constanza? Because I know you helped me build it, where we do try and add resources to that for funding mainly, actually, not necessarily for rehabilitation or training, but maybe the funding resources are on our website. So, if anybody knows of any of those, and want us to add it to the list, then please do. That's on the bottom of our website under resources. And it's we don't really market that very well. I'm head of marketing. I'm going to make a note to do that better. But I'm also mindful that it's very pertinent to people's own situations and their location, of course, right? So, but yeah, thank you, Tim, for offering to be our support services in the US after this call, I think. Cool. We are at the top of the hour. I know some of you need to jump off, but I'm going to ask the team just to stay on for two because I've got one last person who's had their hand up, Mickey, and I'd really love to hear from Mickey today. So, Mickey, please go ahead. And how do I pronounce your last name here? Is it Quinzena or Quinza?
Yes, yeah, it's Mickey Quinzer.
Oh, hi, Mickey.
Q-U-E-N.
Lovely to
Yeah,
meet you. Hi.
nice to meet you too. Hey, I've been having a really good time with Ally.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
I have one constructive um, suggestion
Yep, bring it
for
on.
you guys, and that
Mhm.
would be yeah, on the web
Oh, yeah.
when you're connecting with Ally, there should be some kind of a setup routine so that you get your microphone turned
Oh,
on correctly because when you're trying to communicate and you don't realize it's not on, um,
okay.
you don't know where to go to turn it on, and so it gets kind of crazy. I do
Okay.
have a tip for people about that. If you do Shift F6, you'll go into different windows of your in on the PC, and one of them will probably have the question about, do you want to unmute your microphone? Um, and the last thing I wanted to tell you guys about is something kind of real exciting to me. Is
Yeah.
I'm using something called the BT Speak, and
Okay.
what that is that's a Braille keyboard with speech output, and it's a Linux-based machine system. It's designed by Blazy Technologies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the reason I'm bringing it up is it's so far Ally is the only web interface. It's not perfect, but it's the only web interface I've been able to actually get it to work with.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
That's
with it's with Linux, and
mhm.
I've been using oh, shucks. So, well, basically different web browsers. I actually mostly use Chrome, not Chrome, the other one. There's
Safari?
yeah, Safari. And there's I would really like to get in touch with somebody and talk about the way to streamline some of the because I spent hours trying to make it work, and I don't. It's right now hard to know what's working and what isn't.
Understand.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Well, we'd love that. We'd love
yeah,
that.
well,
Mickey,
yeah,
we've got a developer. Well, we've got a team that do all the development, but we have one that specializes on the web. It's called
yeah.
Flip. And so what, let me do this. I think it would be really, really nice for you two to have a chat and pass your feedback to him. I think that would be really great. And I'm super stoked to hear that it's working for you on this Braille output device. That's really great news for us.
Yeah, what's nice about that thing is it's very small. It's about the size of an iPhone,
Oh, wow.
Mm.
uh, about a little bit thicker than the iPhone 10s Max Pro,
Mhm.
and it has it has a 8-key keyboard, and you braille with it.
Wow.
And so it's pretty cool. I've been testing it, and I actually have one of my own, and I don't know what I would do without it.
Sounds amazing.
It used to be something called the Braille and Speak. That was a
Oh,
long time ago,
Long
and
time.
yeah, and they've actually upgraded it now, and I've been doing testing, and it's the first what do you call it? Voice inno, enabled
yeah.
app than I've been able to get this to work with. So I
Mhm.
think it's got some real potential. Not to
Nice.
mention, it's also fun.
Yeah. It sounds fantastic. I think Philip would be interested in that, right, Constanza? We can,
Yeah, that's a really great feedback, actually. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll try to remember to send you a quick message
Yeah, that'd be
That would
great.
be
on the
amazing.
listserv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
When you registered for the webinar, Mickey, we got your email.
yep, you
So
do.
I can look into that and we can just connect directly on that.
That's
Um,
great. I appreciate it. And I want to say congratulations to Tim because I know where I don't know exactly who he works with, but I've been in tech support since 1985. So I know what you go through, and just keep up the good work because it is so important. It's so much fun. I'm kind of in my retirement years in a way. I don't know if I'll ever really retire, but now I'm doing what I want to do at least.
That sounds
And so,
fantastic.
yeah, and what I was going to say real quick is that I really appreciate the state organizations that actually are proponents of actually making things work for clients. I've been at one organization I'm not going to mention, and they were telling me just if you got a problem with a scanner, don't worry about it. If we sent you out for JAWS, that's all you need to take care of. And I don't work that way. And so, all you can say is just keep up the good work.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, keep up the good work, all of you. And really fantastic webinar. Honestly, I have not paid these people to be on the webinar and say all these lovely things.
Not me. I'm more than willing to get
Not yet.
something,
I
but
just realized I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, anyway, my bad.
okay,
But
thank
thank you
you.
so much, Mickey. Thank you. Thank you. And everybody, I'll let you all get on with your days, your evenings, whatever, your sleep.
Vanessa?
Yes.
Vanessa,
Oh, Bob's still
could
with
you?
us. Hi, Bob.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yes, why wouldn't he? Could you just quickly review where to get the different apps and what they're
Yes,
called
sure.
on the different platforms?
Yes, of course, Bob. Thank you. He's my conscious. And yeah, no, absolutely. So you're talking about Ally, of course. So Ally is
Ally.
available on the Envision glasses as a feature. So if you go into, make sure your glasses are updated, there have been updates. So always just go into software, double tick on, double tap, sorry, that was a Dutch thing. Double tap on the software and it will give you a audio cue to tell you if you've got an update. So let it update and you will have Ally on there. It's been there for a while, but just always good to update. And just chat away, and you can use the hinge button for walkie-talkie mode on the glasses and just have a good chat with your ally and have fun.
And how about the phone apps? What are they called on the different platforms?
So on the app stores, Costanza, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think they're called the Accessible AI Assistant. They're listed. So when you go into the App Store or the Play Store, there's a browse button. You type in ALLY, and there's a few options, but it's the Accessible AI Assistant. That's ours. And it has a description. There's also a new video up there that we've been working on to explain it a little bit more. And we have a website, which is ally.me. So that's ally.me. And everything's on there, and there are direct links to the app stores from there. You can access the web version of Ally from there as well. And of course, you can get more information on the glasses as well. So,
and just to emphasize the ally.me, the web Ally, you can input your information on that interface and it will sync with your phone app. And if you've connected the glasses with your phone app or the website, it will also sync all that information. So It makes it very easy to go in and create your bio and adjust your Ally personalities, and it will sync across all those different platforms.
Yeah, good point. And that's that and the new scan text feature that's now inside Ally as well. So you can really do some great reading of texts and things. But anyways, thank you, Bob, for chiming in. Thank you, Tim, from the bottom of my heart for being here. It's so lovely to talk to you. I cannot wait to get to Portland with you and drink beer. And Constanza, thank you, dear. Really, we really had fun today, and wonderful. Thank you for stepping in and making this webinar today. So I'll leave you all with just a reminder that the next webinar will be on July the 31st at the same time in the same place. So take care, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll speak soon. Take care.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.